Okay. Sorry, I just need to speak.
What you're doing, I think you know how important California is. And California has always been important, but you know how important it is now in this election coming up. You're going to have two big opportunities to determine the next president of the United States. The first one is going to be on February 5th, when you get to decide who you want to be the Republican nominee and the Democratic nominee. I can't remember California having such an early primary ever. It's appropriate. You're the biggest state. You should register your opinion pretty quickly in the process, because our biggest state sure gets a right to help have a voice in this process. But in order to win on February 5th, I really need your help. This is a little bit different than some of the other primaries. You know, maybe I should stand on that. I tell you what. You just gave me an idea. You just gave me an idea. I'm sorry. No problem. Okay, good. Now, you are going to have a really big opportunity to affect the whole process, right? You're going to be able to determine the nominee on the 5th of February. And this is a very unusual primary, because it's congressional district by congressional district, which is why we need all these volunteers. And I can't tell you how much I thank you for supporting us. I know you've been doing it for a very long time. We were the first campaign to organize here in California. I think we're ahead of everybody else. I know we're ahead of everybody else in enthusiasm.
Yeah!
And I think we're ahead of everybody else in people too, the number of people we've organized. And so I want you to know how important California is to me on February 5th. It's a state that we want to win. We want to win as many of the congressional districts as possible. It's going to require even harder work than some of the other primaries, because they're winner take all. So if you win by 1% or 20%, it doesn't matter. But here, you've got to win each one of these congressional districts. So I thank you very much for your support. And then I want you to know that that's not going to be the end of it. We're going to fight to win California in the general election, and we're going to win California. So, you can look at it this way. We've just begun to fight. So I thank you very, very much for your support. I thank you for all the time that you're giving us. We've got a great organization. We're going to win in February, then we're going to win in November, then we're going to make sure this country is strong against terrorism, strong against any would-be enemy, strong economically, a much better economy even, a stronger growing economy where these young people have a chance to really do well. One of the great things about America has always been the following. Everybody could look forward to a better life. They could look forward to a better life for themselves and for their families. And there are some people that believe that that isn't possible with this generation. Well, I don't accept that. I totally reject that. You know something? The question of whether we have a better life for ourselves and our families is not determined by a poll. It isn't determined by the media. It isn't determined by anybody else but us. If we have the will to create a better life for ourselves and our family, we can do it. I did that in New York. I changed the way people literally thought about New York. And we can make sure that we change the way people in this country think. If you believe that you're going to create a better life, you do it. And you do it with sensible policies, like low taxes, and less government, and less regulation, and less suing. Don't you think people in this country are suing each other? And you do it by being positive. And you do it by being positive in the face of the terrorist threat to America. Not defeatist, not pessimistic, not wanting to run away like the Democrats, but wanting to be Americans about this and standing up for what we believe and being certain that with the help of this military that we have, which is the best in the world, that we can actually have victory in Iraq, that we can stop Iran from their worst ambitions, and that we can move toward a much more peaceful world a lot faster if we're strong and confident as opposed to being defeatist and pessimist. That's what we're all about, and I need your help to make sure we get that across to the people of California in February and then in November. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Can I swing out when he comes?